Is your company holding meetings just for the sake of holding a meeting? I thought so. Today on Zippy Point.
Quick Zips by Zippy Point.
Quick and dirty. I'm Brock Romanek and I'm a big fan of yous. So one of the best things that I've ever done is that I had a job for 17 years where the number of meetings per week could be counted on one hand. In fact, there were periods where I would have 0 meetings per week. Meetings are the bane of my existence. That experience was a far cry from many of my prior jobs, particularly when I was a lawyer in-house, where it felt like the day was solely comprised of meetings, meeting after meeting. So I had to do my real work after hours, and it was miserable. Most of those meetings would wind up with little to show for it, people posturing, showing up at the meeting with a personal agenda, just wanting to hear themselves talk, speak. Yuck. Double yuck. Is there such a thing as double yuck? I get dizzy just thinking back to all those meetings that started out aimlessly and just went downhill from there. Just sitting there knowing that absolutely nothing of value was going to emerge from the thing. And now that meetings have moved online, I imagine it's even worse because at an in-person meeting, you can sort of zone out occasionally, perhaps get lucky and find a seat on the periphery. You can rest your eyes for a moment. And that's just much more challenging when you're staring into a screen. People are able to gauge every muscle you move. This Harvard Business Review article about how to run a meeting is beyond interesting. I put it in the must-read category. It notes 6 functions for a meeting. A meeting defines a group, allows the group to create its own pool of knowledge, its folklore, helps the individuals involved understand the collective aim of the group. It leads to a commitment to the decisions that the group makes, allows the manager to be perceived as a leader, and is a status arena. It helps to shape the pecking order of the individuals within the group. You find out your relative standing. Of course, the meeting size matters. If the huge ones are essentially an assembly, the mid-sized ones are more of a council, and then the intimate ones, 10 people or less, they can function as a committee. So this is my favorite paragraph in the piece, asking the question, why is this meeting happening? What is it intended to achieve? Can you imagine if that was articulated before each meeting and then afterwards people were asked to candidly assess whether that goal was met? It really seems like this should be asked at all meetings, including board and board committee meetings. You can ask it in different ways too. What would be the likely consequences of not holding this meeting? When is it over? How shall I judge whether it was a success or a failure? So I love the idea of grading the meeting afterwards. I actually do that myself. I grade myself on my speaking gigs. I don't expect a home run every time, but it's useful to conduct a postmortem for continuous improvement purposes, but also to appreciate when it is a home run. Enjoy those small things in life. Be mindful of what you're doing, recognizing the results. Anyway, the Harvard Business Review piece goes on to explain the various types of meetings and that the goal of each type would vary. And then what is the role of the meeting agenda, the different types of agenda items? Are they constructive, objective? What shall we do? Or executive responsible? How shall we do it? The piece also has interesting insights into what is the role of the meeting chair and drills down into how the order of the agenda items matters. Get the important stuff handled up front first while people still have the energy to focus, the attention span, and that meeting should last rarely over 90 minutes. For me, 20-minute meeting, yes. 90-minute meeting, no, break it up. Anyways, it's just a great piece. I wish anyone that had ever run a meeting that I've been to had read it beforehand. The kicker, the article was written in 1976, bicentennial, almost 50 years ago. Let me know what you think.